This year they didn't do so good. Tesla, they earned less than half what they did in the first quarter of last year. So basically, last year they had cash flow, $2.5 billion in the bank, and they made $2.5 billion GAAP net income. That's what they made in the first quarter, $2.5 billion. This year, in Q1, they made $1.1 billion GAAP net income. So here's a bit of a breakdown of some of the key data points from Tesla's Q1 2024 update, because this is within the hour. This just came out. So total revenue for the first quarter, $21.3 billion US, which was 9% less than the first quarter last year. The automotive part of their business, that declined 13% year on year to $17.3 billion US. Energy generation and storage, that increased 7% to $1.63 billion US. And operating cash flow was $242 million, which is actually down 90% year on year. Free cash flow, negative $2.5 billion, and that's mainly due to a $2.7 billion US inventory increase, and also $1 billion capital expenditure on their artificial intelligence AI infrastructure. In April, they produced 1,000 Cybertrucks in a single week in the US. Total Q1 production was actually down 2% year on year to 433,371 units. Deliveries, they delivered actually 386,800 units, and that's a decrease of 9% year on year. They deployed a record amount of energy storage at 4.1 gigawatt hours as well in the first quarter of this year. The supercharger network expanded to 6,249 stations with 57,579 connectors, and that was actually up, both of them up about 26% year on year from the first quarter last year, which is a big part of their business. They're selling huge amounts of cars. Also, the supercharger network is expanding insanely fast. I think a lot of people don't quite imagine how fast things move in Tesla and how much bigger it is year on year for the last 5 years. It's actually insane. I will put a video in the description below if you want to just get a really good insight into where Tesla came from and to right now. It is mind-bending. It is a very cool video. I think if you're interested in Tesla, watch that video. Thanks for joining me. This is the Charge Show. I'm Ben Alexander, and I make EV news videos every day. Every now and then I have a few days off, but generally I make them every day. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to subscribe if you're interested in this sort of content, and any questions, just put in the comments. So expenditures were, in the first quarter of this year, $2.8 billion US, focusing on AI infrastructure, production capacity, and other product development. Challenges and outlook. Tesla faced lots of challenges, including the Red Sea conflict and also an arson attack at the Gigafactory in Berlin, if you don't remember that. Despite those challenges, they've actually done a lot, and they're investing a lot of money for future growth areas like AI, new vehicle platforms, and obviously we're almost at the time in the next year or so where we'll at least get to see for the first time, and maybe even get the name of the new Model 2. If you take a global view of Tesla, they're doing immensely well. However well you think they're doing, they're probably doing better than that. It's insane. So maybe the quarter Q1 numbers this year were a bit down on last year. It's kind of irrelevant. It's a big picture thing with Tesla. They spend huge amounts of money on infrastructure. They've gone insanely far from where they came 10 years ago to this point now. And the sales are just going up and up and up, and they're making tons of money. I wouldn't be worrying about your Tesla stocks, and I don't have Tesla stocks, by the way. So they're doing really, really well. I wouldn't worry about that, honestly. If you do look at the Tesla stock chart, actually, you can see, as it's been widely reported, for so many days, it's been going down and down and down every day. It's not been doing very well. And I suppose if you look at the last, is it 6 months or something? It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. But that doesn't represent Tesla and their success, the stock value. That doesn't represent their business and how successful it is and how good they're doing and how well they're likely to do. Not directly, anyway. It is a part of it, obviously, but they're killing it, basically. They're doing insanely well. Let me know what you think. What do you think? Have you got Tesla stocks? Are you worried about the Tesla stock price going down and down and down? I wonder. So what they do, they put these the Q1 results out right at the end of the US stock market close. They put this out, and so tomorrow in the morning we will see what happens with the stock value for Tesla. Does it go up? Does it go down? It's kind of been going down, down, down. So yeah, what will we see? What are your thoughts on this? Have they done actually terrible this year? Because they've got less than half the profit that they did have in Q1 last year. I still don't think it's representative of a struggling business or a company that's done really less well, because it's just a blip in the ocean, and they are basically sailing across that ocean incredibly well. It's insane, really. So I obviously sound quite amazed at how well Tesla are doing, and it's baffling, really. And I'm not a Tesla fanboy either, properly not, but it is really obvious how well they're doing. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think they are going to be competitive in 5 years' time from now? Obviously, a big part of the stock price going down and their success waning slightly, you could say, is because companies like Hyundai and Kia and other big companies, they're making really good cars. BYD, for example, the market is now expanding outside of Tesla, so they're getting a lot more competition. That's sort of, obviously that's a part of why investor confidence, as investors like to say, is just going down slightly. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think.